Shalom everyone. In the previous videos we did the first 6 Takanot of Izra Sofer, and B'ezrat Hashem this one will do the last 4. We are in Bava Kama Pebet Amud Aleph, 4 lines from the bottom. Shetei Isha Chogeret B'sinar. What's a sinar? Rashi says Dugmat Mechnasayim Tanim. It's like shorts, that a woman should have shorts or tights under her skirt. Mishum tzniuta, it's more modest that way, and that is the 7th takana. The 8th takana, shetei isha chofefet v'tovelet, that a woman should brush her hair before she goes to the mikveh. The Gemara asks, deoraita, that is an obligation from the Torah, the Tanya, like the Braita says, v'rachatz b'saro b'mayim. The Torah says there has to be a direct connection. The body, the flesh, should come in direct contact with the water, and therefore we know that there can't be a chatzitza, something that comes in between the flesh and the water. And also the Gemara learns et bisaro. It doesn't say verachatz bisaro, it says verachatz et bisaro. Et bisaro, et hatafel bisaro, mainihu se'ar. That the et is even something that includes something that is not the flesh itself, but that is connected to the body, which is the hair. And even though it's not the flesh and the water, rather it's the hair and the water that also has to come to direct contact. So what did Ezra Sofer add upon the obligation that already exists from the Torah? Amre deoraita liiyune dilma miktar inami maus midei mishum chatzitza. The mideoraita from the Torah, the obligation is to have a look, to check, to make sure that there are no knots in the hair, and there's nothing on the body or in the hair, no dirt or anything else that will be a separation between the body and the hair and the water. The atayus, you see, we flipped this page. And Ezra Sofer, what he added brushing out the hair, meaning that even though a person looked and checked, this is true for males and females, but especially for females because they have longer hair, a person checked and saw that there's nothing on his body and that there's nothing that is tied in, he has no knots in his hair or her hair, there is an obligation from the Takana of Ezra to take a brush and brush out the hair to make sure that really there's nothing there and that the hair is free of all knots, and that then to do the tefillah. The ninth Takana, Shir Ruchlin Mechazrin B'Ayarot, that there is a Takana that people who sell merchandise and jewelry should go around and not just have a shop, but they should actually go from city to city. Why? Mishum tachshitei nashim, for women's jewelry. It's important that women are able to get new jewelry, new necklaces, new earrings, new rings, whatever. Kadei shelo yitganu al balehem. It's important for the women to be pretty for themselves, for their husbands. It helps. The physical part is a part of the connection between man and wife. Not the main part, not the only part, definitely not, but it is a part. And therefore, Ezra Sofer made a takana that it's not enough just to have shops that sell them in some cities. It's hard sometimes to travel from city to city in order, especially if they have kids at home where they leave them, what are they going to do with them? They have to travel to a different city to get the jewelry. Therefore, the takana was that the shops would be shops that would transfer themselves or transport themselves and bring their merchandise to the people and not the people to the merchandise. Today, obviously, with the existence of cars and malls and whatever, that is not needed, but in the time of Ezra Sofer, when people were less, it was harder for people to move from place to place. That's why the takana existed. We're on the 10th takana, the last takana of Ezra Sofer, the 3rd line from the top on Pebet Amud Bet, v'tikein tefillah lebalei kiryin, that he had a takana that people, males who had intercourse or saw zera at any point, they have to go and go to the mikvah. The Gemara says Doraita, that's not a takana of Israel. That's mentioned specifically in the Torah. We read it in last week's parasha, in the parasha of Mitzorah, saying that a person that saw zera, he needs to go to the mikvah. So what did Ezra Sofer add in his takana? And the answer is Doraita hu litruma v'kodashim. The obligation from the Torah is if a person wants to eat truma or to partake of a korban, then he has to go and there is zera that came out of his body previously, and therefore he has to go to the mikveh before he eats truma or korbanot. But atahu and Ezra came tiken afilu divrei Torah. Since divrei Torah are supposed to be things that are divrei Torah, something that it needs purity, and therefore he made a special takana that even for divrei Torah, before learning Torah, the males, the people, the men should go to the mikveh previously in order that they should be pure when learning Torah, because Torah demands a high level of purity. I will mention on a side note that this takana was not accepted by Am Yisrael throughout the generations, and at a later time, the Gemara Brachot already says that at a later time, this takana was not accepted, and even for learning Torah, people do not have to go to the mikvah. Shalom, shalom.